Okay, for this video, I'll be discussing multiple offender and penalties. So let us start, no? When see multiple offender, ito yung recidivist, quasi-recidivism, habituality or iteration, and habitual delinquency. So let us start with recidivist or recidivism. Uh, Now, a recidivist is one who at the time of his trial for one crime shall have been previously convicted by final judgment of another crime embraced under the same title of the RPC. So the keyword here, or the words that needs to be remembered in recidivism is there is previous conviction by final judgment. Kasi kung wala pang final judgment sa unang conviction, that is, we cannot apply recidivism. So previous conviction of by final judgment, then the the two crimes are embraced under the same title. Crimes against person, crimes against property, crimes against fundamental of the laws of the land. Okay, so yun yung mga title. So for example, ito. First crime niya ay murder. Convicted siya, may penal judgment, then probably nakalabas, so bigyan ng pardon, ng rape na naman, or while inside, ay ng rape na naman. Then murder is crimes against person, rape is crimes against person, then he is considered recidivist. Embrace under the same title. So itong recidivism, it could be committed, the second crime could be committed inside or outside the prison. But here, first crime is murder, while inside the prison, he committed robbery, or after release from murder, the crime of murder, he committed another crime of robbery. He is not a recidivist. Bakit hindi recidivist? Because it is not embraced under the same title. Yung isa, crimes against person. Yung isa, crimes against property. So, that is not recidivism. But it could be quasi-recidivism if committed inside the prison, or habituality or deterioration if committed outside the prison. Okay? Now, okay, yung habituality, ano to? An offender who has been previously punished. So, when you say previously punished, yung nakalabas na. By offense to which the law attaches equal or greater penalty. Or two or more crimes to which attaches a lighter penalty. So, ganito. Ganito. First crime niya, murder. Second crime, robbery. Embrace under the same title? No. Hindi. So, we will rule out or tatanggalin natin sa choices yung recidivism. Kasi hindi siya embrace under the same title. Yung isa, crimes against person. Yung isa, crimes against property. Okay? Hindi siya recidivism. Pero, if it is committed outside the prison, kasi previously punished siya ng murder, then he is considered habituality. Okay, hindi siya embraced under the same title and it is committed outside the prison. Okay, it is committed outside the prison. Pero, ganito. What if the first crime is less serious physical injury? Second crime is robbery. Bakit hindi siya not habituality or not reiteration? Well, for the simple reason that the first crime is not equal or greater than the second crime. So, kailangan kasi, yung first crime, it must be equal or greater sa second crime. Dito, okay, this is crimes against person, crimes against property, so hindi siya considered recidivism. Pero hindi din siya pwedeng habituality or iteration kasi nga, it is committed, the first offense is lesser. It is not equal or greater sa second crime. So, hindi pwede. Okay? Dito kasi, murder and robbery, equal yan eh. Magka-equal sila or greater pa nga yung murder. Okay? So, ano naman yung quasi-recidivism? Any person who shall commit a felony after having been convicted by final judgment before beginning to serve such sentence or while serving the same. So, again, convicted by final judgment ang kailangan. And he committed a crime, begin to serve a sentence, or while serving the same. So, kailangan para ma-commit or ma-apply natin ang quasi-recidivism, it is committed inside the prison while serving sentence. Okay, first crime niya, robbery, crimes against property. Second crime, murder. Okay. Murder is crimes against person. So, not embraced under the same title, so hindi na siya recidivism. Pero, the murder, the second crime, kung dito siya ba pinag-judgment sa first crime niya, the second crime is committed inside the prison, then that is quasi-recidivism. Okay? Pero kung ang first crime niya ay robbery, then while serving sentence for robbery, convicted na siya ha, may pinag-judgment, while serving sentence for robbery, nahulihan siya ng droga or nahulihan siya magbibenta ng droga or drug trafficking. Okay? Embrace under the same title? No. Is he committed inside the prison? Yes. Pero bakit siya hindi quasi-recidivism? Because the second offense is not a felony. Okay? Not a felony. The second offense is not a felony. Because drug trafficking is an offense. It's not a felony. Remember, felony are those crimes punished under the revised penal code. Okay? So, hindi siya quasi-recidivism. Reiteration ba siya? No, because it is not committed outside. Okay? So this is not, no, wala to sa classification. Then, habitual delinquency or multiple recidivism. Habitual delinquency, now, ang gusto ko tatandaan nyo sa habituality or habitual delinquency and multiple recidivism is there is a period of 10 years. Ano tong period of 10 years? From date of release or last conviction. And the crime committed here is, remember this mnemonic, Fritz, falsification, robbery, estafa, may theft ba? Theft, and serious and less serious physical injury. Fritz. Okay? So, falsification, robbery, estafa, theft, and serious and less serious physical injury. Kung ito ang crime ang na-commit, 5 na to, and he committed the third time, or offender, or fourth time, within the span, not within the span, and there is a gap of 10 years from the last release or last conviction, then you apply habituality or habitual delinquency or multiple recidivism. Example, the crime committed there are theft, estafa, and robbery. So, 3. Kasali ba sila sa Fritz? Yes. Yung tatlo yan, kasali yan. Date of commission, August 1995. Date of conviction, 1996. Date of release, 1997. Yung isa naman, November 2002, 2005, 2017, 2014, 2016. Okay. From the date of last conviction, ito, ilang years ang gap nila? That is 11 years. 11 years. Pasok po siya sa habitual delinquency? The answer is no. Why? Because it's beyond 10 years. Kailangan yung gap ng last conviction, second conviction, third conviction, kailangan 10 years lang. Or mababa pa sa 10 years. Hindi pwedeng lalagpas ng 10 years. Kung pagbasihan ang last conviction. Pero nakalagay sa batas, last conviction or last release. So, tingnan natin, April 2007 and April 2016. Ilang years ang gap ng dalawa? The gap is only 9. Pasok pa sa 10 years, pasok sa 10 years. So, the offender here is considered habitual delinquent. Kasi ang gap between the last release is 10 years. Okay? Less than 10 years, which is actually 9 years. 9 years. Now, rules of preventive imprisonment. Full credit or preventive imprisonment if the detention agrees voluntarily in writing after being informed of the effects thereof and with the assistance of a counsel. Okay, so ganito. To abide the same disciplinary rules imposed on convicted person. So ganito. Pag nakulong ka kasi, kailangan mong mag-agree voluntarily in writing that you will abide by the same disciplinary rules of convicted person. You will follow the rules and regulations sa loob sa kulungan, convicted person. So full credit yan. Kung 5 years ka nakulong while undergoing trial, then yung 5 years na yun, credited yun. Deduction yun sa sentensya mo, that's credited. Pero, what if you will not abide? Does not agree to abide the same disciplinary rules imposed upon convicted person? the credit is only for fifth of the preventive imprisonment. So for example, while undergoing trial, 5 years yung preventive imprisonment mo. So sa 5 years na yun, ang credited lang is 4 years lang. 4 years lang. Okay? Pero, immediately release naman ang effect if the accused has undergone preventive imprisonment for a period equal to the possible maximum imprisonment. Example, penalty ng kaso mo is prison correctional. Ang maximum imprisonment ng prison correctional is 6 years. So, kailangan ka ng immediate release kasi na-serve mo na yung sentence, maximum sentence niyan. Okay? So, let's have an example. Yan. The crime committed here is homicide. And homicide is the imposable penalty provided by law of homicide is reclusion temporal, which is 20 years and 1 day to, 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. Okay, what if you undergoing trial and you hindi ka naka-bail and you are undergoing what you call preventive imprisonment for 5 years? Kasi yung trial mo mabot ng 5 years. And you are guilty. Sabi ni judge, okay, makukulong ka ng 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. Pero remember, nakaserve ka na ng 5 years sa preventive imprisonment mo. I-deduct pa to? If you follow the disciplinary rules set just like a convicted person, full credit yun. So yung buong 5 years, makikredit yung buong 5 years, minus yun. So instead of 12 years and 1 day to 20 years, 7 years na lang to 15 years ang sentensya mo. What if you will not abide by the rules on regulation of prison? Ang credit is only 4/5. So sa 5 years na pagkakulong mo, ang credit is only 4 years. 4 years. So ang deduction is only 4 years. So then ang serve sa New Bilibid prison is 8 years to 16 years. And that is what we call preventive imprisonment. Now, let's go to subsidiary penalty. If the convict has no property with which to meet the fine, he shall be subjected to subsidiary personal liability at the rate of 1 day for each amount equivalent to highest minimum wage rate prevailing in the Philippines. Okay, kung ang kaso mo ay punishable by fine at hindi mo nabayaran yung fine, then you will be imprisoned. Ang tawag doon, subsidiary penalty. Makukulong ka. Ilang araw ka makukulong? Depende sa fine at saka sa highest minimum wage rate in the Philippines. Before, under old law, 8 pesos per day yan. For every 8 pesos na hindi mo mabayaran sa fine mo, 1 day imprisonment yan. Okay, pero, change under the new law, ginawa siyang highest minimum wage rate prevailing in the Philippines. So, for example, ang highest minimum wage natin, makikita yan sa Manila. What if ang highest minimum wage natin is 500? So, yan yung i-deduct mo, 500 for every day. For every 500 hindi mo mabayaran, makukulong ka ng isang araw lang. Let's have an example. The crime committed is non-wearing of helmet. And the penalty is fine of 1.5. Ilang araw ang subsidiary penalty mo or imprisonment mo? Under the old law, if you divide 1,500, which is the fine, into 8 pesos per day, makukulong ka ng 187.5 days. Okay, so more or less nasa, if I'm not mistaken, 6 months to. 6 months. Pero under the new law, 1.5. I-divide mo sa highest minimum wage prevailing in the Philippines. Example, 500 yung highest minimum wage prevailing in the Philippines. So, 1.5 divided by 500, it will only be 3 days. 3 days na lang. Instead of 187 days, 3 days na lang. Now, sir, bakit pinalitan? Bakit from 8 pesos ginawang 500? Because 8 pesos is a 1932 concept. Remember, our revised penal code took effect January 1, 1932. And during the time, 8 pesos is a lot of money already. Malaki na yun. Di ba? Ngayon, saan nakabot ang 8 pesos mo? No? Para pamasaya lang yan, one way. Sa jeep pa. No? So, pinatan yung batas. Ngayon, ang prevailing rate is highest minimum wage rate prevailing in the Philippines. Hindi na 8 pesos. Complex crimes. We have compound crime, complex crime proper, special complex crimes, and continued crime. So, let's discuss compound crime. Ang gusto kong tatanayin sa compound crime, it is a single act. Single act constitutes 2 or more grave or less grave felonies. So, isang act lang, pero dalawa or higit pa ang kaso na resulting yan. But that's only one crime. Compound crime lang yan. A single act of firing a shot, the same bullet caused the death of 2 persons. So, isang single shot lang, isang putok lang, dalawa yung napatay mo, ilan ang kaso mo? Isa lang. That's compound crime. Okay, that's compound crime. Now, in this case, no, in People versus Adriano, accused treacherously fired his gun several times at his target victim. A bystander was also hit by reason of mistake of blow. Both victims died. Accused is responsible not only for the death of target, but also for the death of third person who was hit by a stray bullet. He is liable for two separate crimes. Treachery will be appreciated even though one was killed because of aberration ictus. But this is not compound crime since there is no showing that the victim was killed by a single act but several acts. Kasi dito, kung isang bala lang, isang putok lang, dalawa yung tamaan, dalawa yung patay, isa lang kaso mo. Pero kung marami kang pinutok at marami din ng patay, then marami kang kaso. Kasi every bullet that came out from the barrel of the gun is considered a single act. So dito, itong People versus Adriano, this is not considered as compound crime. Complex crime when offense is necessary means of committing the other. So the keyword here is necessary means of committing the other. Okay, for example, gusto mo magnakaw sa isang bahay. So, pumasok ka sa bahay na pumasok ka sa gate na walang paalam, trespass to dwelling. Sinira mo yung bintana, malicious mischief. Tagnakaw ka, ilan ang kaso mo? Only one, robbery. Only one. Because trespass to dwelling, malicious mischief is necessary means of committing robbery. Ang special complex crime naman, composed of several crimes with separate and distinct penalty, but the law impose single penalty. Okay? Several crimes siya, but with separate penalty, but the law prescribe only a single penalty, like rape with homicide, robbery with homicide, robbery with rape. Yun, isang crime lang yun. Ang tawag natin yan, special complex crime. Yeah, example is rape with homicide. Continued crime is a single crime to. But take note of this, no? It's consisting of series of acts yan. Series of acts, but all arising from one criminal resolution. Series of acts arising from one criminal resolution, then that is continued crime. Example, a theft who takes from a yard of house 2 game rooster belonging to 2 different persons committed only one crime. So, yan yung continued crime. Nagnakaw ka ng manok sa kapitbahay mo, tapos pagdating sa unahan, meron na ng manok, ninakaw mo, belonging to the different owner, there's one crime because there is one criminal resolution. But there is what we call series of acts also. Okay, duration of penalties. Question perpetua, I presume na memorize nyo to, no? Yung perpetua is 20 years and money to 40 years. Temporal is 12 years and money to 20 years. Prison mayor is 6 years and money to 12 years. Prison correctional 6 months and money to 6 years. Arresto mayor 1 month and money to 6 months. Arresto minor is 1 day to 30 days. Alam nyo kung anong tatandaan ko dito is ito 6 to 6. 6 months and money to 6 years. So, I presume you have memorized that one, no? Anyway, yung penalty, madaling memorize niyan kasi dalawa ang reklusyon, perpetua, temporal. Dalawa ang prison, mayor and correctional. Dalawa ang aresto, mayor and minor. Yan. So, bakit kailangan natin i-classify? Kasi dito, malalaman natin ang period of detention. Okay, ilang oras pa pwedeng dito yung isang tao? So, depende, no? Capital, death, 36 hours. Afflictive, reclusion perpetua, temporal, prison mayor, 36 hours. Correctional, prison correctional, arresto mayor, or fine 200 to 6,000, 18 hours. Light penalties, like arresto minor is 12 hours lang. Now, we have Republic Act 1946, and this is the act prohibiting the imposition of death penalty. Actually, we have death penalty law, and that is RA 7659. But because of 1946, this is prohibited. Prohibited ang pag-implement ng 7659. But hindi naman sabihin na abolish, no? Prohibited, hindi pwede. Okay? So, hindi pwedeng i-implement ngayon. So, kung hindi pwede ang death penalty, anong pwedeng i-implement? Anong pwedeng i-judge? Well, instead of death penalty, ang gagamitin mo, reclusion perpetua. If the law makes use of the nomenclature of the revised penal code. Kung ang law gumagamit ang nomenclature sa RPC, reclusion perpetua. Life imprisonment naman or habang buhay na pagkabilanggo if it does not make use of the RPC, the nomenclature of the penalties of RPC. Okay, so then yan lang yung alternative dyan. Okay, summary of Article 50 to 57. Pag principal ka at consummated yung crime, full. Anong full? Anong nakalagay sa batas? Yun ang game penalty mo. Pero kung principal ka, frustrated naman yung krimen, that is 1 degree lower. Kung attentive lang yung crime, 2 degrees lower. Pag accomplish ka, tapos consummated yung crime, 1 degree lower. Accomplish ka, frustrated, 2 degrees lower. Accomplish, attempted, 3 degrees lower. Accessory, 2 degrees lower if consummated. Okay, frustrated, accessory, 3 degrees. So example, the crime committed is murder. And the participation only accomplished. So, consummated ang murder, accomplished 1 degree lower. Okay, an example, frustrated murder, accessory. So, frustrated yung kaso, accessory yung penalty, so it will be 3 degrees lower. Okay? An example, attempted murder yung kaso, principal yung participation. So, attempted, principal, so anong penalty? 2 degrees lower. Okay? Kasi attempted pa lang 2 degrees lower yan eh. Okay? So, rules of application of penalties which contains the periods. Okay? So, kung walang aggravating, walang mitigating, medium period. Walang aggravating, merong mitigating, anong epekto pag merong mitigating? Minimum period. What if may isang aggravating, walang mitigating, maximum period? What if one or more mitigating, one or more aggravating, reasonable offset? Yung offset, ang ibig sabihin niyan is, anong marami? Dalawa yung aggravating, isa yung mitigating. Offset natin. May matitira pang isang aggravating. Dalawang mitigating, isang ang aggravating. I-offset natin. Alam matitira, one mitigating. Anong epekto? Pag may one mitigating, minimum. Pero pag walang aggravating, dalawa or magit pa ang mitigating, 1 degree lower yan. Okay, ganito. Remember this, no? Ito yung period of penalty natin. Perpetua, temporal, mayor, correctional, arresto mayor, arresto minor. Ito ay may period. Maximum period, medium period, minimum period. Okay, may period. Now, if the crime, no, walang mitigating, may isang mitigating, may isang aggravating, 0. So, anong penalty? Medium period. Kasi 0, neutral eh. What if dalawa yung mitigating? Dalawa yung mitigating, walang aggravating. Ang epekto pag may walang aggravating, dalawa yung mitigating, 2 or more, it will be 1 degree lower. Okay? Now, ito. How about if isa yung mitigating, 0 ang aggravating, matitira ang isang mitigating, tama? So, it will be minimum period. Okay, minimum period yan. Kasi may mitigating. Epekto ng mitigating is minimum. Pero kung walang mitigating, may isang aggravating, ang matitira is 1 aggravating. Ano epekto pag may isang aggravating? Maximum period. Okay, maximum period ang sentensya mo dyan. Okay, I think that's the last one. Let us answer some questions. No? If the convict has no property with which to meet fine, he shall be subjected to subsidiary personal liability at the rate of 1 day for each amount equivalent to. Okay, the answer here is of course the highest minimum wage rate prevailing in the Philippines. Dati, 8 pesos per day, but this is old law. The new law now is highest minimum wage rate. Now, bakit hindi 500? Yung example mo kanina 500. Because that is only an example. Remember, the highest minimum wage in the Philippines is not constant. No? Paano yan? Alos every year, nag-i-increase yan. Bakit hindi letter B? Highest minimum wage rate prevailing in the city where the was arrested? No. Hindi sa city kung saan siya aresto, kundi sa Pilipinas. And we know that the highest minimum wage rate is found in the NCR or National Capital Region. A single act constitutes 2 more grave or less grave felony. So remember, it is a single act. And dalawa yung resulting crime. Anong tawag na dyan? That is compound. Single act. Ito kasi, necessary means committing the other. Ito, 2 crimes but single penalty. continued crime, series of act, but one criminal resolution. 3. An offender accused who have undergone preventive imprison who agrees voluntarily in writing after being informed effects thereof and with the assistance of counsel to abide the same disciplinary rules is entitled to. Basta mo-abide sa the same disciplinary rules and he agrees that in writing, anong credit niya? Full-time credit. Okay, full-time credit. When offense is necessary in committing the other, it is called, okay, offense is necessary in committing the other, that is complex crime proper. Complex crime proper. 5. If there are two mitigating and two aggravating, dalawang mitigating, dalawang aggravating, so i-offset natin yan, 2 minus 2, 0, neutral na yon. So what is the possible penalty pag neutral na? It will be medium period kasi neutral na eh. Okay? Now, if a crime is frustrated homicide was committed by John, an accomplice, what will be his criminal liability? Frustrated, pag frustrated kasi 1 degree lower na yan. And committed by an accomplice, pag accomplice, another 1 degree lower yan. So, there will be 2 degrees lower. Okay, 2 degrees lower. 7. It is composed of several crimes which separate and distinct penalty but the law imposes a single penalty. So, may single penalty lang. Okay, so that will be special complex crime. 8. If there is one mitigating and two aggravating, so one mitigating, two aggravating sa consensus, now what will be the possible penalty? Remember this. I-offset natin yan. 1 minus 2. So, anong matitira? 1 aggravating. Okay, ito yun. 1 mitigating plus 2 aggravating. Ang matitira ay 1 aggravating. Okay? So, anong effect pag may 1 aggravating pa? Then that is the maximum period ang penalty. 9. If a crime of attempted murder was committed by Mark, a principal, what will be his liability? Remember, attempted, that's 2 degrees lower. Principal, full yan. So, there will be 2 degrees lower kasi attempted lang yung kaso. Okay, kasi pag principal, full eh. Okay? Kung ano to, accomplish lang, there will be 3 degrees lower. 10. It is a single crime consisting of series of acts arising from one criminal resolution. So, series of acts, one criminal resolution, then that is what we call continued crime. Okay, that will be continued crime. 11. If there are two mitigating, dalawang mitigating, no aggravating, what will be the possible penalty? So, that will be 1 degree lower. 1 degree lower yan. 12. The crime of frustrated robbery was committed. What will be the liability of an accessory? Remember, frustrated, 1 degree lower na yan. Kasi frustrated. Accessory pa, that's 2 degrees lower. So, 1 plus 2 equals 3, accessory, so ang answer dito is not 1 degree lower, but 3 degrees lower. Ito yung tamang sagot. Okay? If there are 1 mitigating and 2 aggravating circumstances, so 1 mitigating, 2 aggravating, ito tapos na to kanina, no? What will be the possible penalty? So, anong matitira dito? 1 aggravating, it will be maximum period. 14. A person who at the time of his trial for one crime shall have been previously convicted by penal judgment of another crime embraced under the same title. Previously convicted, embraced under the same title, anong tawag natin dyan? Recidivist. Okay, I think that's the last one, no? And see you on my next video.